Do you feel capable of escaping or finishing off a demon, with super strength that flies and, if that weren't enough, that eats humans on one of the loneliest roads in the entire United States? Well, believe it or not, that is based on real events. Well, no, it's not true, but it would be pretty cool, so make sure you make the right decisions in Jeepers Creepers. Well, meet Derry and Trish. They're siblings on their way home for a summer vacation. They're on one of the loneliest roads in the United States, and on the way home, the siblings comment that there have been a lot of people missing on that same road, like a couple from the school they go to who disappeared like 23 years ago. They never found them, they just found their car, and then an old pickup truck catches up with them super fast. They think that the truck is trying to pass them, but it seems that the truck is just trying to chase them or even scare them, because out of nowhere it passes them and goes away with what happened. And to calm down, a few kilometers ahead they get out to throw out the water, but they don't know that further down the road they were going to run into the same truck. But in a house they see a person with a rather dubious and scary appearance who begins to throw what appear to be bodies wrapped in sheets and tied with ropes to a pipe as a kind of drain. They stop, stunned with fear, without even being able to take their eyes off that subject who at the same time is watching them. Without time to assimilate what they just saw, the subject who was throwing the bodies gets into the truck and begins to chase them at a speed extremely higher than the car he is driving. Derry and Trish get off the road and the truck continues down the road. They have no idea what just happened. So, Derry comes up with the magnificent idea of returning to the house where the truck came from to check if they were bodies, what they were throwing away, or what is happening in that house. And even though Trish definitely doesn't want to go back, Daryl manages to convince her. They arrive at the house, which is actually a church, and they approach the drainage pipe where they were apparently dumping the bodies, and to their surprise, they hear a voice from the bottom of the pipe. Derry's second great idea is to look into the pipe. Logically he wasn't going to be able to see, the pipe is extremely long and he couldn't reach, but well, it seemed like a good idea for this point. They've already made a mistake at least 2 times, I can't blame them. It's holding the gaze towards the person who is dumping the bodies, because apart from that the devil has already seen you. But let's take it one step at a time. If you've already seen that the person is dumping some bodies, if you've already seen that the person is aggressive, if you've already seen that he chased you, if you've already seen that he crashed into you, what the hell you have to do by going back to his house? What the brothers should have done is immediately go to the police. Sooner or later the murderer has to return home, then most likely he can find you there. That is the first big mistake, because from that decision is when Derry falls down the pipe and realizes that there are mutilated bodies in there. The basement is completely covered with bodies, and above all, you don't have a phone to call for help, much less a weapon. Daryl manages to escape from the basement. He arrives with Trish to the car. And the idea they have is to continue on the road in the direction they were going to be able to call for help. The other mistake they made is to continue in the same direction where the truck went, because sooner or later they will find it. The ideal would have been for them to go in the opposite direction so that there would be no chance of running into the truck again. Regardless of this, they continue on their way, enter a coffee shop, and receive a call from a mysterious person. This person tells them that the devil is looking for them, especially Derry, because he went into the church, and with that he gave the devil the opportunity to smell his scent, and that the courage of a person is enough for the demon to chase you until he finds you. And while Daryl was telling the officers everything he saw in that church, the demon was in his car. He sniffed all the dirty clothes he had there, and this is exactly the next mistake. If Daryl had washed his clothes and had not taken them dirty for his mother to wash, the demon would not have had the opportunity to smell his clothes and thus identify him. So if he had been more aware and not put his mother to work, the demon would not track him so easily. Seeing the situation, the police take him to the other county, escorting them with a patrol car. When halfway there, the demon attacks the police, falls on the roof of the patrol car. One of the officers looks out of the roof to see what the demon fell on and attacks it. Almost instantly he attacks the other officer, where they decapitate one and throw the head into the car or wherever it goes. Derry and Trick manage to stop and realize that something is very wrong. Slowly they begin to see what is happening when in the distance they see the officer's head. Lying on the road and unable to move, they remain paralyzed. Seeing how the demon slowly approaches, he takes the head and begins to remove the tongue from the officer's head. When Derry and Trick come to, they start the car and get away as quickly as possible from that place, while the demon calmly puts the bodies in the truck. Oh, and he forgot about the head. The mistake that Derry and Trick made in this part is very simple, but not only them but also the officers first that Derry and Trick did. When they realize that they are in danger, the last thing they should do is be near the place where the demon is. They should also make sure that their car always has gas so that they do not have to stop at any time and can continue on their way without any problem. Another mistake that Trick specifically made is one that you should never make if you are a driver. And that is not checking the mirrors when you drive. You should always check the side mirrors and the rearview mirror. Trish would have been a good responsible driver, or at least Daryl would have helped her check the mirrors. She would have realized that the officers who are escorting them are being attacked, so she would have had two options: stop, help, which I think she would not take, or the second, which is to accelerate as fast as she can and escape as soon as she can, which very probably they will catch her. But well, in one of those the next county comes and asks for reinforcements. The next mistake of theirs is to stay and watch. What they need is to see the demon leave as soon as possible to gain time and thus be able to get to the next county as soon as possible. Now the biggest mistake of the police is not having reinforcements. On the radios they carried you could hear them asking if they wanted reinforcements and they never answered. So, when they see the situation they must realize that they are facing a possible serial killer, and not just any serial killer, but one who has about 500 or 600 bodies inside a basement. Therefore they were wrong to not take it as seriously as needed, because they did not have enough officers nor did they have enough weapons, as they escape for the third time from the demon. They pass by a house and Tree comes up with the idea of stopping to ask for the phone and thus request help. So give. And he tells her that it is not a good idea that they should continue, but he cannot convince Trish, so they arrive at the house and ask for the phone. The lady refuses to lend it to them, and when they are about to convince her they realize that the demon is pretending to be the scarecrow in her garden. The brothers do not know what to do, they feel cornered. Right there is when the lady plucks up courage and goes out with a shotgun to attack the demon logically. Because of her usefulness, the lady fails to hit him and did not even notice when the demon entered her house, so she, with the intention of defending Ace's cats that Ace's cats do not even care about, goes into her house to fight directly against the demon with a shotgun, but it is totally dark. The brothers stay watching with the hope that the old lady manages to kill the demon, but logically that did not happen. That Derry and Trish get in the car as fast as they can, but if they get stuck in reverse, so the demon falls on top of their hood, so Trish starts in reverse, the demon falls and Trish accelerates forward with all the speed she can to try to run him over, and already with the courage that he brings it and reverses again to try to run it over, but the demon jumps the car again until finally Trish manages to run it over. But not only does she run it over once, she passes 234 and as many times as she can to try to kill the demon, since she ran it over 1,000 times and her anger went down. They leave as soon as they can to the police station in the next county, but wait, before continuing, I'm going to tell you the mistakes they made here, because these guys even seem like they want to die if you see that he's not only a serial killer, but he's a demon with super strength, and apart from that he eats human parts without even cooking them. And apart from that, it even seems like he's driving Toretto's car, because he gets wherever he wants super fast. The most important thing is not to stop on the road, is to leave as soon as possible. So they should never have stopped with the old lady, they just went to kill them. If you already put all four of them in and had them kill the old lady and by pure luck, by the blessing of God, you were able to run over the demon, well, finish killing him because you simply left him lying there and you made him angry because you left him crippled. With that, you only give him the weapon so that he can go after you to get revenge. So what they should have done is have Trish continue to crush the demon so that he can't get up, while Darius goes for the shotgun that the lady had so he can shoot him in the head and destroy it. Or even if you don't want to take any risks and you don't want to leave anything to luck, you could use the same ones. Tools or the same knives that he dropped when you ran him over to remove his limbs, put a drum in him and burn him with the gasoline that the car has, and with that I assure you that he won't bother you again. Once they escape from the demon that left him completely run over, they arrive very calmly to the police station. They explain the situation to the police, and a person named Jesely arrives, who is the person who called them on that occasion in the cafeteria, explains to them that he is like an obvious guy who sees the future and already knows what is going to happen with the demon on this night. And if you notice, that is a place where there are many missing people, since on a wall of the police station you see many search bulletins. Jesely explains to Derry and Trick that this demon appears every 23 springs to eat human parts, since if he is missing a leg he would have to go out and eat a leg to be able to replace the leg he is missing. If he is missing a heart, well, like a heart. If he is missing eyes, well, eyes. Then, since the brothers did not finish killing the demon and left him very injured, Jesely tells them that she is certain that the demon is going to come looking for them to begin with, because he has to eat a leg because he is missing one for what they did to him, and second because he is already obsessed with Daryl and is not going to rest until he can catch him. While Jesse continues to scare him, the demon takes advantage of the opportunity to enter the station and thus look for his next victim to be able to recover his missing leg. And he gets that leg from an inmate. Then the guard arrives and realizes that the demon is eating the leg of a person who was in the cell. But not only that, he also realizes that the demon has super strength because he bent everything. The bars without any problem. Seized by fear, he has no choice and shoots, but to his surprise and to everyone's surprise, the demon has a very hard layer of skin that the bullets do not penetrate, Then the demon also attacks the guard and takes advantage of the fact that he cut the electricity in the entire building to be able to sneak away, and with this he manages to dodge all the other policemen until he finds the brothers, and with Jessie Lee, Derry and Trish they manage to escape. The demon stops and smells only Jessie Lee, but Deja knows that she is not the one he wants, so the brothers run and corner themselves in a dead end. That is when the demon appears in front of them. By this point they already had one last chance. Obviously they did not take advantage of it, and that mistake is the one they never tired of making, which is not wasting time. When they escaped from the demon and arrived at the police station, the first thing they should have done is ask for help, but not help to be there to protect them, but help to escort them and get them out of there in the patrol cars. Since, as we know, at the police station they not only have handguns but also long guns and even vests, but as we realized the weapons were not going to be able to do anything to him. So the ideal thing was to take advantage of the time and escape in a patrol car, which in that year 2021 the patrol cars used were the Stone Victoria, which could reach more than 200 kilometers per hour, much higher than the 260 kilometers per hour that the demon's truck reached. But the demon arrived at the police station in his truck, so they could have dismantled it so that he could no longer transport himself. And right there they will realize that the demon in the back of the truck has bodies, and not only bodies of people, but also bodies of the other officers he has already killed, so a mass mobilization of special forces or even the army would be totally justified. As interrogations are found Derry and Trish and the other side of the mirror. The demon is found, he realizes that there is the person he wants, enters the room, corners them and grabs them by the neck. He begins to smell the two of them to distinguish which of the two is the one that calls his attention. After joining them for a while and giving them a few licks, he decides on Derry. At that moment the police arrive. It even seems that they were hiding, but as the demon has Larry hugged and using him as a shield, the police cannot attack him and the demon ends up taking him away. The story ends in a basement. Where is it? The devil is giving in and there is the lifeless body of Daryl, who by the way the devil has already taken his eyes, in fact he even put them back. Do you think that if you were in this situation you would have been able to survive the devil? Let's remember that these characters made mistakes. Many times they had opportunity after opportunity to do the right thing or even did things that went against common sense. I think that a person with logic and a desire to live would have gone much further than them, because even Trish was on her butts ready, offering herself to the devil. That's for another story. See you in another video. Bye.